Greetings and salutations, my friends. Welcome to my Spurs team guide. Can you do a better job than Jose Mourinho? That sounds weird, doesn't it? Yeah. Let me know in the comments how that's going to go. That was quite a surprise, wasn't it? Poch sacked one day. Bush. In comes Jose. Because, you know, he's known for his rebuilding of teams and stuff. Oh, no, wait, hang on. He's not. No, he's not at all. We're going to take a look through the team, obviously. There's a couple of things I really must stress about this team that's very important, which we'll get to. So, attacking football, young players, possession, English players. That's the first team that we've seen so far that want English players. Youth system, do not assign players over the age of 30, playing entertaining football. We do have, but this is fine, a maximum of 2-year contracts for 8 players over 30. That's okay. That's not a really big deal. They want to reach the first knockout round of the Champions League and qualify for the Champions League. Definitely both doable. And then next year they want to start challenging for the Premier League title and get to the latter stages and then challenge. And they just want to keep maintaining. They're not saying like win the Premier League after 4 years. They just want to be in and around it, which is fair enough. They're going to give us £30 million to spend. Sorry, Pochettino. We've got cash to burn. And 200 grand in wages. So, a couple of important parts in this. First day in the job. Go to this screen. Click Alderweireld. Right-click. Contract. Offer new contract. Boom. He's got a £25 million release clause, which is about to be hit because straight away, Liverpool, Man City, Man United want him. £25 million release clause. He's valued at £36 million. Get it done now. Same with Vertonghen. He's not got the release clause, I don't think. See, look, this is how you fix Tottenham. But he's also only got a year left on his deal. They both want to stay. Get it done. They're your best centre-backs. They're 30 and 32, so you'll only be off them 2 years. But they're still your best centre-backs. They're both beasts. Get it done. And then over the next course of the next 2-3 years, you can think about replacing them and stuff like that. We've got Hugo Lloris, old bendy elbows himself, in goal. We've got Michel Vorm as a backup, Gazaniga as well. Careful how you say that name. All perfectly acceptable. As backups, we've got Davidson Sanchez, who's a solid ball-playing centre-back to the 2 oldies that we've got there. We've got Jan Foyth. How long is he out for? 3 months, okay. Who's a very good young player as well. So we've got people coming through that are going to replace the big guys. So Joria, bang average, and he has a good game, and then next game looks like a terrible footballer. And then we've got Kyle Walker-Peters, who's okay. We've got the left-backs, Danny Rose and Ben Davis. They're both okay. Sessegnon's the youngster they've got in this season. Needs a lot of work, but I think could become a very good player. I'm not sure if you were playing really attacking fullbacks, then yes, but I think I'd play him further up the pitch because he lacks any sort of defensive mentality whatsoever. Victor Wanyama, who's transfer listed to begin with. We've got Harry Winks. Let's have a look at him this year. Not too bad. Pretty good player. Decent all-rounder. Ndombele, who looks like a fucking beast in real life. Only 22 years old. Very good deep-line playmaker. We've got Lo Celso on loan from Real Hispalis. Who's an absolute beast. We have Moussa Sissoko, who... he reminds me a bit of... Hang on. Wait. Sacco. I wanted to call him Sissoko. He looks like Bambi on ice. But he kind of gets the job done. He's got weak areas of his game, but he's still an absolute beast. You can play him on the right-hand side. Can play him as a winger. He's pacey enough. He's never going to beat people for fun, and he's got decent crossing. You could also play him, retrain him as an inside forward. I think an inside forward might be a really good shout for him. We've already got a couple of good central midfielders, so maybe I'd look at retraining him, or as just a sort of right midfielder in a 4-4-2 could work as well. We've got Lucas Moura, who's a good sort of attacking substitute. We've got Christian Eriksen, who's wanted by PSG. He doesn't want to leave, does he? Good. He wants to play for Barcelona or in Spain. We know where that is, mate. Didn't have to point it out. It's pleasing, yeah. So we could keep him or sell him for absurd amounts of money. He's a very good number 10. or on this left-hand side, inside forward material, inverted winger potentially. We've got Dele Alli, who's real life looks like a bit of a shit player now, but he's really good. I think maybe just a form thing. It'd be very interesting to see with the whole Jose Mourinho situation if the players start kicking their ideas up and start playing well again. In the game, he's still an absolute beast. Son Heung-min, who I adore, that I'd happily have at Liverpool. Absolute great player still. Eric Lamela, decent backup. And then obviously Harry Kane. Really? He's almost a natural number 10. I wouldn't have said that. Not the paciest in the world. Harry Kane's one of those footballers that you look at and go, he's not amazing at anything, but he's just really good at everything. That makes no sense whatsoever. You know what I mean? He's not outstanding. Like, he's not pacey whatsoever. I don't look at him and think he's going to beat a guy, or he's like the most natural finisher since Robbie Fowler, but he just does the job. Obviously, in game, he is the most natural finisher. He's got 19 finishing. He's outstanding. Great penalty taker as well. But, like, I'm just sort of talking in real life. Like, I'm not saying he's a bad player at all. He's amazing. When you look at him, you don't see a great player. Let me know if you understand what I'm saying. I think you do. Right, let's have a look at the youthies, see what we got. Okay, big bag of shite. A port from Troy Parrott, son of the snooker player John Parrott. A little factoid for you there. Decent. I just made that up. Decent young. Everybody's googling. Decent young player. Anybody else? Not really. There might be a little hidden gem in there. Right. So what we doing, boys? What we doing with our 30 million? Obviously, we've got lots of football. We've got Champions League football this season, so it's going to be important that we've got a big enough squad. I know they want us to sign English players, but I might just get rid of Danny Rose. I think he's good. He's decent. I think this is just my own personal real life bias. I think he's a bit of a dick. so I'm selling him purely based on real life things, nothing to do with the game, because he's still pretty good. I'm buying a left back. Obviously, you've got to future-proof this team. It does need a little bit of a rebuild. We've got a couple of good centre-backs, but you might need one world-class centre-back that's going to start looking to replace Alderweireld, and especially Jan Vertonghen, who's a couple of years older, but still brilliant for the next couple of years. We've got good central midfielders. I like the fact that they're asking for English players. I think that's quite fun. That's a personal sort of challenge I like to do myself. They cost like 20 million extra, even for the shittest English player, but that's part of the fun. Up front, you're looking at one up top, I think. I don't think there's any way you could squeeze two up top. Like, you place Heung-min up top, but then as backups, you're thinking Harry Kane and... not Harry Kane. What's his name? Dele Alli. Still a very good sort of striker if you wanted to play him. But I think some of those... You'd lose a bit on the wings, I think. I think this is much more of an inside forward, inverted winger, lone striker, Harry Kane banging in goals type system. So I'm looking to replace... Who's our... Yeah, right back, maybe fullbacks then. I think fullbacks is the way to go with this team. I'm not a massive fan of any of them. They're all decent. They're all unspectacular. Especially if you were playing a 4-4-2, like a standard 4-4-2, there would be less issues because they're expected to do less. But if they're so important in the modern game, if you're having wing-backs that are bombing up and down the pitch, they're just so important. They're arguably the most important player on the pitch, I'd suggest, nowadays. So I think that's where my money would go. And then obviously in the next couple of years, replace the centre-backs, replace the goalkeeper, who's 32 and he's got wobbly elbows. Yeah, and keep Harry Kane. But obviously, just to re-emphasise, give Vertonghen and Alderweireld new contracts. Boom, I fixed Tottenham. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.